The shooter came back and was just shooting people random.
They were moaning and stuff like that.
And so he was just shooting them.
That's at McDonald's.
At
Yeah,
McDonald's, yeah.
There was something like that also in a Luby's restaurant in Texas one.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so Albert, her brother, was able to
Get people to help him.
crawl and get back there,
They
and
put him in the freezer.
they put him in the freezer
They-
with them.
they were all locked in there,
They
you
were
know,
all locked in
And they
there.
opened it and got him and pulled
They
him
put
in.
him in.
And
he
he's the one
survived,
that
but he
got my
was-
son the billet
Right.
to
But
get
he
him.
he
get
was
in the police
badly
department.
injured. Well, let me tell you, the Crocs, they did an outstanding job with everybody, compensating them and stuff like that. And he really needed a lot of care. He always wanted to be a police officer. So he has some defects, but he's a captain. He's gone through.
So he was
he's
just
gone-
an employee of
he went
McDonald's
through-
when
he
he
was
got
in-
shot.
yeah,
Okay, I was thinking he was a
yeah.
policeman.
No, he was just a
Okay.
Just a
yeah.
child.
And so, he went through the academy, he did it, he had a lot of physical therapy, occupational therapy, I mean, a lot of things that were required. He has wounds that, yeah, they tell the story, and,
He's a scratch golfer.
yeah,
Wow.
he's, yeah.
It wasn't his time.
No,
God wasn't ready for
it was not his time, no, it wasn't.
Just
yeah.
like it wasn't Trump's time when he got
Right.
shot in the ear.
But the Crocs, they made sure that he had the best of care. And they came to his parents' home and they made sure that, and they knew what his dream was. And-
McDonald's was,
Yeah.
they stepped up.
Oh,
They really First thing they
really
did was, as soon as they'd let them, they bulldozed that store.
Yeah,
And they bought property a mile away and
Built again.
built a new store.
I remember.
But you
yeah,
know,
they have a memorial there, so, anyway. So they recently had a thing in the paper about it, because it was, I think it was the 15th year. And, but a little aside to that, my daughter goes, "Oh, Mom," she goes, "that was tragic, it truly, truly was." But she goes, "I'm gonna tell you something," she goes, "I never told you this. But that day, the wife and the daughter of that shooter was sitting in my Wiener Schnitzel store."
Oh my goodness.
And she goes, they were devastated. They could not believe, that was gone. She goes, so there is another half of that story that,
He
is
could have
not.
taken them in there with him.
Oh, it's just
Was
like,
he on drugs or something?
Oh,
he was just crazy.
he was crazy.
He was just crazy. But they were sitting in her Wiener Schnitzel store.
There's always another half, but you don't always know
I
about.
know.
Yeah.
And she goes, and they didn't want it to be known.
No.
They were just so upset that they couldn't believe that he would do that. So it has not been reported that, and Alicia didn't tell anybody. She goes, "I've only told you, Mom, so don't you go around spreading that."
Don't you go
So
around.
now
My wife always does what she's supposed to do.
usually I do. I guess I feel free around family.
And Paul Harvey say that's the rest of the story.
And that's the rest of the story. Yeah.
Gosh, it got dark, didn't it?
Let's take some pictures.
Hey, the man behind you's got the picture.
I know, but I'm talking about still
No,
pictures.
you gotta understand.
Look, turn around, turn
Linda, just
He
look.
can do it all.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
You're a professional.
He is a professional.
He is in his
He's a
element.
real
Wow.
videographer.
He was a video.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But
Okay.
he does still photos too.
when you got a pro, why in the world?
Hey, Dave, I'm gonna give a little brief synopsis. 3 years ago, we sold our home in Indianola, and we moved to Grenada out to our cabin and it's still called the cabin. It's a nice home, but anyway, we moved there so that Linda could be with her mother for her, final years, and it wound up being 1 year later that her mother died. And so we're Grenadians now. Took a flatlander and moved to Grenada. But we still have our business there in Indianola, and I go over on Mondays and I come back home on Thursday evenings. But so Linda's a widow during the week. But,
I'm a
so,
traveling salesman.
She's out.
husband.
She's out partying and shit.
but I'm still making a good living and I enjoy that, so, you know, I real estate and appraisals and I quit building a number of years ago, but anyhow, with that said, I do my work in the Delta and I come back home to Grenada and I really enjoy it, you know, Grenada. I enjoy my work, so it'll be a point in time where maybe I don't enjoy it and I'll finally retire one day, but I keep saying until then, I just want to wake up dead one morning. Take it for what it's worth, you know. But, so here we are today, and of course, we're really enjoying Betty Sue's and David's time.
He still calls you Betty Sue.
Yeah,
She's Betty. in
I've
I
had-
bet nobody in California does.
I know Miss Betty, and there was a doctor that would call me Betty Sue just to aggravate me because he knew that I did not like to be called Betty Sue, and so I go, you can shorten that and just call me Bets. The S infers
Yeah, Sue.
Sue, but Bets. But he never did.
But your mother named you after the movie star Betty Davis, didn't she?
My father wanted me to be just Betty Davis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you spell it with a, like Betty Davis did?
It's Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up with 4 Bettys. Betty Ann, Betty Lee, Betty Lou, and Betty Sue. We all hated our middle names, and you had to write your name as what was on your birth certificate. And there was no ifs, buts, and ands about it. All the way through school, you know, it was just like,
Did you ever know any Peppers?
oh yeah,
You
Yeah.
know Luann Pepper?
yes.
She lived here. She moved here when she got married to George Payne Coster. That was in 1960.
Oh,
Yeah.
She was, and
And
so
we
she
knew
lived here
Alan,
all
too.
her life.
yes.
her brother was a
Beautiful.
federal judge.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
She
Yeah.
died.
Keith
Their
and,
child
yeah.
was
She
in
died
Ole
a few
Miss
years
with our
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
Really?
Smart.
In the Sigmund
Oh,
House.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
And she was a beautiful girl growing up.
She
and,
was beautiful all her
and a
life.
beautiful
We
lady,
heard
yeah.
Alan.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
was
I
all her
He was
life.
kind
yeah.
of an MC at
Yeah.
But
Bells
just
on
got
First
her
Baptist
getting her
Homecoming one year with
plaque
that.
made for our
Oh.
She made
church.
a
George wrote it
nice
in
talk
Hollywood.
with that
Right,
church. So
yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
remember.
They just
what
got
his
that
name
put up
was.
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
weeks ago.
Oh, there's
But he
two
was
people in
Sigmund
Bells on
House
I
for
mean,
3